This is the iconic map of the London Underground. It's gone through many changes, but its core philosophy still remains relevant today. It started with this map made by Harry Beck, which laid the foundation for future maps we see today. Before this famous design, rail lines were run by different companies, meaning maps would only show the lines a company ran. These were geographic maps showing passengers where they were in relation to the streets above. But in 1908, this all changed. The various railway companies came together to produce a standardized map. It charted all the rail lines in one map, so it would be easier for people to find their way around London. While earlier maps just emphasized one line, usually in red, this new map used color-coded lines for different services, presenting the network as one system for the first time, using a new name and logo to showcase this. While the map was geographically accurate, it presented some restrictions. It required crowding the central area so stations in the extremities could fit, with some stations not being included in the map, as the map would be too big. These shortcomings meant a new map design would be commissioned for the rail lines, designed by Fred Stingmore. He was tasked with simplifying and designing the map in the 1920s and early 30s, and this was the map he came up with. While his maps were more simple and easier to understand, they weren't perfect, and this is where Harry Beck comes in. He thought he could improve the map and had been designing a new version in his spare time. It was a diagrammatic design based on the sequence of station, the direction of the lines, and where they would intersect, rather than being based on geography. The design was limited to horizontal, vertical, and 45-degree lines, magnifying the central area and compressing the outer reaches, with the stations being represented by equally spaced out dots. Beck offered his work to the Publicity Office of London Transport in 1931, but was rejected. In 1932 he would try again, and this time his design was accepted, but with some stipulations. Frank Pick, the Chief Executive and Vice Chairman of London Transport, thought of Beck as an outsider from a technical rather than creative background, and did not consider him a real designer. So rather than fully commissioning his work, he launched a trial run for Beck's map. This included a note on the cover, requesting comments from users asking for feedback on what they thought of the map. And to everyone's surprise except Beck's, it received good feedback, leading to the map being commissioned for print and becoming a massive hit. Beck carried on refining the map in his spare time, experimenting with new ways of indicating the interchange between stations, spacing, and line thickness. But his association with London Transport ended in 1960. Beck's association with London Transport had been an informal agreement, as he was considered a freelancer, with the unofficial understanding that when the map needed updating, Beck would be the man for the job, with some accounts saying Beck was never formally commissioned to develop his initial idea, while other sources have reported that he was paid a fee of 5 or 10 guineas, which is equivalent to 5 or 10 pounds in today's money. The new map designed by Hutchison had been poorly received and was only used for a few years before it was replaced by a new map design by Paul Garbett, who restored many of Beck's principles in the new map design seen here. While Beck's principles were still being used in the maps of the London Underground, he never got the credit he deserved and died in 1974, not receiving any credit for his part in transforming the map, which had gone on to become an iconic symbol of London. Beck eventually did get the credit he deserved, thanks to his friend and graphic designer Ken Garland, who brought attention to Beck's contribution to the map, and this would lead to a BBC documentary being made about Beck's work and his contribution.
Beck, the man who invented London Underground's famous map, was an unemployed engineering draftsman.
Nowadays, all London Underground maps credit Beck for his contribution towards the design of the map. Beck's map has stood the test of time because it prioritizes clarity and usability over geographic accuracy, and has become an iconic symbol of London. While the map has undergone modification and updates over the years, the core principles of Beck's design still remain intact today.